Hello, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the 2025 Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. And tonight, we're under the lights in Mohammedia for this Match Day 2 Group A meeting between Zambia and the hosts here on home soil, Morocco. The El Bashir Stadium, not quite full to its 10,000 spectator capacity, but there are some local fans in, very much ready to go on a somewhat drizzly April evening on Morocco's Atlantic coast, hoping for another great performance by their young talents, their potential stars of the future. They'll be coming up against a side, though, who also produced very impressive performance on Match Day 1. Tanzania and Uganda also in Group A. Both were heavily beaten by these two sides. At the first time of asking, Uganda are a fast improving East African team, known for their structured play and strong team spirit. But on this occasion, they found themselves beaten 5-0 by the hosts, Morocco. And it was a quick-fire double early on. Bel Mokhtar in the 3rd minute, Ait Sheikh in the 8th. Two more in a little over half an hour. A second for Bel Mokhtar. And the first of a brace for Ziad Baya, the son of the head coach, Nabil Baya. And yes, the number 9 adding a 5th in the 71st minute to add the cherry on top of that particular cake for Morocco. Zambia, 4-1 winners against Tanzania on Match Day 1. Similarly, got up and running early on. A goal in the 8th minute from Jonathan Momba Kalamina. They added another round the stroke of half-time from Abil Nyirigong and Mike Mutale, Gabriel Piri, adding 2 more late on after a consolation for the Tanzanian side, who will come out on top here.
Here, we're known for our sense of service. It's all about finding ways to support you. Day after day, doing everything we can to be useful and providing energy in all its forms. Everywhere, every time, all across the continent.
Tanzania, a familiar Kasafa rival of Zambia. Similar playing style, competitive intensity, but it was the Zambians who had too much intensity for their fairly local rivals a few days ago. Can they bring that intensity again here against the hosts in what will be a pretty formidable atmosphere against one of the favourites in this tournament? It was a composed display from the junior. So take control early on, he never looked back. 4 goals from 4 players, crucial opening win. Now they head out in unison. To take on this young Morocco side, with Eid just a day away. It's a special atmosphere in the stadium. Supporters turning out in numbers to celebrate both faith and football. We'll now take a brief pause before we get onto the real action for the two countries' national anthems, starting with Zambia. Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free. Blaring out over the speakers now for the Sharifian anthem of the home country. Sung out with pride and passion on and off the pitch. Clear what it means to these young players and their adoring fans and families, I'm sure, watching on. All smiles and handshakes for now. But once the first whistle blows, they will be up against one another and certainly giving it their all. Here the 11 chosen by Ian Bakala. Should be something like a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. We'll see once they get going. Certainly Robert Banda, Abel Nyirongo and Kelvin Mulenga looking to test the Moroccan backline. James Sabini will be there as well in midfield. Mike Matale, Bongani and Lovu, the more defensive-minded midfielders. Captain Jonathan Kalamina, who will now make his way to the middle to meet the Moroccan captain Hamza Bouhadi. He's joined in a back four by Chama Chanza, Xavier Mwanza, Andrew Mwape, with Rogers Simumba. Goalkeeping duties just behind them. Your referee for this evening, Vincent Kabore of Burkina Faso. Assistance from all over Africa. Just explaining the specifics to the two captains. VAR office is there, ready to get involved if required. Now for the Moroccan 11, which should also be a 4-3-3. Shoaib Belarouche on goalkeeping duties with Captain Bouhadi, Driss Ait Sheikh, Nassim El Masoudi and Monsef Zerki, the back four in front of him. Abdallah Wazan of Ajax, Amin Wahabi and Ahmed Muhub. In midfield, Ilyas Belmokhtar and Zakari El Khalifoui will support Ziad Bayer at the top of the Moroccan tree. Final team talks, final moments of calm and preparation before we get on with the serious business of 90 minutes of under-17 AFCON football. So the referee blows the whistle and away we go in Morocco. Match day 2 in this year's Total Energies CAF Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. Zambia take on the hosts, Morocco, in the second round of games in Group A. Zambia in their traditional orange and black, shooting from right to left as we watch on in this first 45. Morocco in all white, hoping things will go just as all right as they did a few days ago. That 5-0 win set them on their way in style. Bakala will also be hoping for a similar performance to match day 1 from his team, 4-1 winners against Tanzania. Bakala also took charge at the last Under-17 AFCON in 2023 when they fell at the group stage. Nabil Bayer has been appointed rather more recently. Took over in September from Said Shiba after the Under-17 World Cup in Indonesia. He's a former Atlas Lions international. First venture forwards for the Atlas Lion Cubs. It is dealt with by James Sebini. Nassim El Masoudi is part of the Bayer Leverkusen Youth Academy. Leverkusen, who of course had an incredible unbeaten season to claim their first Bundesliga trophy last campaign under the tutelage of Xabi Alonso. Dubbed Never Losen, and gone the entire season unbeaten. They were, though, knocked out of the German DFB Pokal Cup by a Dritte Liga side, Arminia Bielefeld, just a day or so ago. Zambia on the front foot through Abel Nyirongo. He runs into trouble, but Morocco can't thoroughly clear their lines. Delivery in from Kelvin Mulenga, however, was disappointing. It will be a Morocco goal kick. Belarus will get us back underway. Morocco like to play it out from the back where they can. There's largely the game plan for this young side, but on that occasion, ball forwards was harmless, straight to a Zambia player. There's Robert Banda, getting his first start of the competition, played the second half on match day 1. Assistant raises his flag. Zambia see another potential attack come to nothing. Decent early showing though in these important first few minutes, letting their hosts know they are a serious threat. This is Zambia's third appearance at the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. Previous qualifications came in 2015 and 2023. Most recent edition, of course, both of which showing they bowed out at the group stages. It's well won back. Potentially delivery was dangerous from Hamza Bouadi. But Zambia hold firm and ensure they win the throw as well. In that first appearance in 2015, Zambia were drawn in Group A, where they faced Nigeria. Always a tough task. Finished third in the group, 3 points from a 2-1 win over Niger. That team featured the likes of Patson Daka. He's gone on to become a star for the Zambian senior side and currently plays for Leicester City in the English Premier League. For how much longer the Premier League, time will tell. Foxes looking pretty likely to drop down to the second division. And also Enoch Mwepu in that side, a rising star whose career was sadly halted as he was forced into early retirement a couple of years ago in another English Premier League club in Brighton. Detected heart problems at just 24 years of age. Reminder that nothing should be taken for granted. These stars of the future. Your first taste of the continental spotlight. I'm sure they will cherish every moment. Hope for many more moments like these ones to come. Of course, one special moment potentially to come would be an appearance at the Under-17 World Cup. This 15th edition, or 20th, if editions without hosts aren't included, of the Africa Cup of Nations for the Under-17s. Also serves as the qualifiers for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Top 10 sides in the competition this time will represent Africa at the global tournament in Qatar in November, up from just 4 at the previous edition. Of course, mirroring the Senior World Cup in expanding the number of teams involved. And thus, so too, the Under-17 AFCON now featuring 16 teams for the first time ever. Players born on the 1st of January 2008 or later eligible to participate. It was one very close call for a player here on the pitch, Ahmed Muhu, born on the 4th of January 2008. Ball into the box is partially cleared away by Mwanza. Danger's not over though. Bel Mokhtar looking to create some space, aiming for Bayer at the back post. floats over the head of the number 9 and out for a goal kick. There is Ziad Baya, he's 15 years of age, youngest player in this Morocco 11, youngest player on the pitch currently. Son of the head coach, Nabil Baya. Certainly no case for cries of nepotism though. Very promising young man, very promising young player who showed exactly what he can do with a brace on match day 1. Meanwhile, Zambia's number 9 looks to be some discomfort. Abel Nyirongo needing some treatment, also scored in the first game of the tournament. Was the qualifying tournament's top scorer with 7 goals. Very impressive showing in that qualifying tournament. Scored in 4 of the 5 games, got a hat-trick against Zimbabwe. He is a natural goal scorer. Sharp finishing, ability to exploit spaces, make him arguably Zambia's most lethal attacking weapon. Ian Bakala will certainly hope that's not going to prove to be a long-term issue. We are back underway. Both these clubs, both these countries did go through the qualifying process. Morocco, of course, didn't need to, as hosts, automatically awarded a spot. Nonetheless, chose to participate in the UNAF Under-17 Championship in Casablanca, finished as runners-up. It's a resounding 5-1 win over Egypt, local rivals. The eventual tournament winners. Egypt, though, struggling here in the finals, losing their second game from the first 2 earlier this evening. Here come Morocco again. No chances taken by Roger Simumba, but it was certainly heading wide. Certainly was a cross, just waiting to see if he was half looking at the goal. It wasn't too far away, but Abdallah Wazan, certainly with his eyes on his teammates, not able to pick one out. Was a 4th CASAFA Under-17 title for Zambia in the qualifying tournament. Beat Angola in the final. Beat Namibia 8-0 along the way. 14 goals scored, 1 conceded in the group stage, showing they were certainly a side to be reckoned with heading into the finals. Beating South Africa in the semis of the knockout stage, and then a 2-1 win against Angola in Johannesburg in December. Both goals from Abel Nyirongo, the winner in the 94th minute. Also sparing the blushes somewhat of his captain, Jonathan Calamino, with an own goal in the first half. We're now focused on matters here in the finals. It was a strong first few minutes from the Zambia under-17s, but Morocco now starting to assert their authority on matters. As we tick towards the 15-minute mark, have had plenty of the ball in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Kalamina clears away. Chamachanza well up the pitch. Kalamina drawing the foul from Ilyas Belmokhtar. Little fortunate, perhaps, on second viewing to get the decision there. Not a huge amount that Belmokhtar did wrong. Kalamina playing for the foul, just about got it. Also scored in that 4-1 win on match day 1 at the right end this time. Captain leading by example with the first goal of the tournament for the young Chipolopolo. Just the 8th minute. Here's Belmokhtar again. Cuts inside, looks very dangerous. Cutting in from the right wing on that fairly magical left boot at times. It was he who had the first goal of the tournament, period. First goal for Morocco in the opening game. Just 3 minutes into that 5-0 win. Mike Matale deemed to have fouled Abdallah Wazan. Now a bit of organisation to do for Rogers Simumba. Had an 80% success rate. That is save success rate in the first game. Saved 4 of the 5 shots he faced. Conceded 1, frustratingly, for the keeper just at the very end in the 95th minute. I think he'd be pretty content if he makes it 90 minutes into this match without having conceded against this Morocco side. Free kick is straight into the wall from Wazan. Won the free kick, took it. Now has to backpedal with the rest of his teammates as Zambia look to strike on the counter. Slightly untidy touch from Ait Sheikh, who had he prevented the corner. Came back in from Chamachanza. Was comfortably claimed by Belarus. Into the body of Ndlovu. Struck the arm, but of course no hint even of a handball appeal. Nothing the player could do. His arms into his body. Belmokhtar brings it forward, skips past 1, past 2, goes down, wins another free kick. This one in an even more dangerous position, a little closer to goal. Kalamina is sent away in no uncertain terms by Vincent Kabore. Too many arguments in truth. But will Belmokhtar pull rank on this one? Allowed Wazan the last, having won it. Belmokhtar won this one himself. This is not far from where a set-piece taker would choose to place the ball for a free kick. It's a little central for being... a little further out than he might have liked in the end. Thought the clash came a little closer to the area, but the initial contact's probably exactly where Belmokhtar is standing. It will certainly be Belmokhtar to take. Simemba on his toes. Belmokhtar off the wall again, this time deflected behind for a corner. It was heading wide, you can see from the reverse angle. Another potentially iffy moment for Zambia is dealt with. Another to come here though in the corner. Into the near post, flicked on by Bayer, but flicked over the goal line for a Zambia goal kick. Atmosphere is growing inside the stadium. Built in 1954, this stadium, renovated in 2019. Bears the name Bashir after a Shabab Mohammedia player in the 50s and 60s. As an opportunistic effort from Nirongo. Drifts wide. Was a little intake of breath from some on this side of the pitch. See a grimace from the number 9, hopefully a frustration rather than any kind of pain, having taken that knock early on. But Nirongo seems to be moving fine. Just annoyed at himself for not quite executing that lob as he would have liked. Bayer. Gives it back to Mahoob. It's Belmokhtar again. Quick passing between himself and Buhadi. Carries it on, goes for another 1-2. It wasn't far away from coming off. It's picked up by Mahoob again. It ripples the net from Ziad Bayer, but the wrong side of it from a home perspective. There were a few cheers. Thought that had gone the other side of the post. Wasn't far away. Simemba probably just about had it covered. A signal from his father on the sidelines, Nabil Bayer. French-born Moroccan international, represented the Atlas Lions 20 times. Made his international debut back in 2003. He's been in charge of the Morocco under-17s now for 31 games. His record is almost exactly evenly split. 11 wins, 10 draws, 10 losses. He'll be hoping to add to the first column in the remainder of this tournament. His task is to guide Morocco to their first ever CAF under-17 AFCON title and secure back-to-back World Cup qualifications. Speed from Robert Banda, but he's matched step for step by Nassim El Masoudi. No foul, says the referee. Morocco play on with Wazan. And drifts calmly past a couple of Zambia players. Can't quite slip in. Pass for the run of El Kalfioui. It's the patched up head of Andrew Moape, the young Zanago prodigy. He's taken a knock earlier in this tournament. Gonna stop him playing on though. Exactly 50-50 in terms of possession in the first quarter of this game. Morocco have had the slightly better chances overall, but Zambia are holding their own here. These two were also drawn in the same group for the 2023 Under-17 AFCON. Met on match day 3 when Morocco were already confirmed top of the group and Zambia were already eliminated. I'm sure that played a part in the result. Group winners opened the scoring through Zakaria Wazan early on, but Zambia turned things round late on to exit the tournament on a high. Samson Malé goal and an Emmanuel Manza penalty, making it 2-1. So a score perhaps to settle for the Atlas Lion Cubs. Of course, an almost entirely different setup for both teams, indeed all teams. The biennial nature of the Under-17 AFCON, meaning very few players playing more than one tournament. That will change though. This edition kicks off an annual cycle adopted by FIFA for the Under-17 World Cup. First to be played in the 48-team format instead of the previous, also biennial 24-team tournaments. FIFA granting Qatar the hosting rights for the tournament for the next 5 years. And so, of course, qualifiers required every year, and thus an Under-17 AFCON every year. This November's tournament will be the 40th anniversary of the Under-17 World Cup. Started in 1985. Back then, CAF organised a knockout home and away qualification competition for upgrading it to a full standalone tournament a decade later. Changed the name to the Under-17 AFCON in 2015. Impressive list of top scorers in recent tournaments. Isaac Success and Kelechi Iheanacho of Nigeria shared the honour in 2013. Victor Osimhen, again, of course, of Nigeria, finished top of the list in 2015 and is now scoring for fun at a senior level, has been for many a year. Last edition of the under-17 AFCON. It was a 1-0 loss to Nigeria and 3-2 to South Africa in the first 2 games for Zambia. Despite their relative struggles on the continental stage, remain the most successful team in COSAFA under-17 history. Won the regional championship 4 times. Bel Mokhtar, the shot that whistles a little wide again. Sememba had that one covered too. It's a 4th appearance in the under-17 AFCON for Morocco. We're also hosts back in 2013. Squad including Hamza Saki, now at Wydad, formerly of Auxerre in Liga in France. Top their group, knocked out in the semis by eventual champions Côte d'Ivoire. Lost to Tunisia in the 3rd place playoff, 11-10 marathon penalty shootout. And this is their 3rd tournament in a row. Fell at the group stages in 2019, picked up just a single point. Top the group last time out, as mentioned, despite losing that dead rubber to Zambia. Beat hosts Algeria 3-0 in the quarterfinals. Their neighbours Mali on penalties in the semi-finals. 16 kicks taken there as well. Another marathon of sorts, and were though beaten 2-1 in the final by Senegal. Bouhaddi into the middle. It is cleared away by the first man. Well, unfortunately for Ian Bakala, particularly Abel Nyirongo, seems that early knock is going to be a long-term issue for Abel Nyirongo. Number 9, replaced after a little over half an hour by Billy Daka. '16-year-old, born on New Year's Eve, 2008. Played the second half. In the game against Tanzania. We'll get a little longer on this occasion, an hour to show Ian Bakala what he can do. El Khalfioui with a high boot, punished by the referee. Part of the Ajaccio Academy, going through the ranks in picturesque Corsica, French island. Boasts 2 teams in the 2nd tier of French football, Ajaccio and Bastia. Ajaccio have recently been relegated from the top flight. El Khalfioui trying to break through the ranks there. A slip which could have proved costly for Moncef Serki. Got away with it and almost turned it into a counter. But for a block from Andrew Mwape on El Khalfioui. was a painful loss to Senegal as well in the final of the most recent under-17 AFCON. Led for over an hour for a Senegal penalty in the 80th minute and a winner in the 83rd. They'll be looking to right those wrongs, exercise those demons here on home soil. Did though earn them a spot, at least, in the Under-17 World Cup in Indonesia. They made history by reaching the quarterfinals before being eliminated by Mali. Bouhaddi shifts the ball right, knocks it through the legs of his opposite number, Kelvin Molenga. Calamina goes down, wins a free kick on the edge of his own box. I think Nabil Baye will be reasonably pleased with what he's seen thus far. Not been as emphatic of an entrance as they made in that 5-0 win, but nonetheless, probably slightly the better side in the first half an hour. Zambia very much holding their own, keeping this one in the balance. Passing it around for now, building up those possession stats, making the Zambian players run. El Khalfioui goes down, not for the first time, wins a free kick, over by the corner flag on this occasion. Was a little clumsy from Robert Banda. Another who played the second half of the last game. Rewarded with a start here. Part of the Atletico Lusaka Academy. It'll be Wazan to take. Second youngest in this Morocco starting 11. Turned 16 in January. He has to have a killer set-piece delivery. That was a decent one, just no one on the edge of the 6-yard box in white. 3 Zambia defenders there. Cleared away by Molenga, I believe. Out wide by El Khalfioui to the overlap from Zerki into the middle, just over the head of Baye. Molenga tries to play his way out, but hands possession straight back to the hosts. No chances taken by Roger Simumba. The captain leading by example at the back this time. El Mokhtar moves away, leaves it to El Khalfioui. Struck from range, had to be saved by Simumba. Did well to parry it to a teammate. I'd be expecting to save those, but had some power behind it, that effort. And the 16-year-old keeper with the number 16 on his back lives to save another day with his clean sheet intact. El Kalfaloui, beautifully controlled by Belmokhtar. Borderline showboating from one of Morocco's most exciting young talents. There was the effort from Wazan. We cut back, it's delivered in by Belmokhtar. On to the head of Bayer. He's getting into the right positions. He's just not applying the right finishing touch. This one headed well over the bar. Was under pressure from Wape. Remember, diving to his right, denying Abdellah Wazan. El Kalfaloui this time chooses the safe option. Sends it back to White Sheikh. He went for the more daring switch, which was massively overhit, and I think earns him the ire of his head coach. That's very nicely worked. Flicked on by Mahou, but that didn't come off quite as well as the exchange just before. Final few minutes of the first half. Maybe time for one more clear-cut opportunity. Zambia have been surviving a touch as this first half has stretched on. We'd love to work the opposition defence before heading down the tunnel. Maybe grab one, arguably against the run of play. They won't be able to do so if they give the ball away so cheaply in their own half. It's well won back though by Melenga. Few whistles, but referee allowing the match to flow where he can. Zambia senior team, of course, former AFCON winners, stunned the continent to claim the AFCON crown at the expense of the Côte d'Ivoire in 2012, winning 8-7 on penalties in the final. Also twice silver medalists and 3 times bronze. Copper Bullets made their return after an almost decade-long absence at the most recent edition, but were sent packing in the group stages as they were in 2015. Morocco senior side 2, with just the 1 triumph on the continent, and much further back in 1976. They've in fact only made it past the quarterfinals once since 1990, finishing as runners-up in 2004. but have made waves on the world stage very recently. Of course, putting together a record-breaking run to the semi-finals of the Qatar World Cup a couple of years ago, knocking out Spain and Portugal. They became the first African side in the Final Four. Zambia with one final attack in the first half. 20 seconds remaining. That's another decent ball in. Morocco get it away. Look to counter through Bayer. Strong and fair in the eyes of the referee. Challenge from James Sabini. Maybe 3 minutes, or make that 1 minute of additional time. Graphic momentarily said 3. Might be extended a touch though here as we wait for a young Zambian in the Morocco box to be checked over by the medics. It is Kelvin Mulenga. Took a whack as he threw himself at that ball in from the left. Elbow into the side of the head. Pleased to see, I'm pleased to say, he's now back on his feet. The 1 minute is up. Haven't played any football in it, so maybe one more still to come. Moroccan flags continue to wave proudly. They have been held, though, in this first half by the visitors. Will that be the case through to half-time, though? Belmokhtar in on goal. Important challenge. Denying him an opportunity. Two number 11s coming together. Sabini coming out on top. I thought it was Sabini who got his foot on the ball. It was in fact Belmokhtar. So a goal kick. And that the final action of the first half. Well, no goals, but a pretty entertaining first 45 minutes of football here in Mohammedia. These two teams scored 9 between them on match day 1. We can surely hope for at least a couple in the second half. Half-time score is Zambia 0, Morocco 0. I pointed out earlier on when it was 50-50 in terms of possession. You can see that Morocco took a stranglehold of the ball in the latter stages of the first half and certainly played the more attacking football. 8 shots, 5 on target, just 1 for Zambia. It was on target, didn't hugely test Shuaib Belarouche in the Morocco goal though. But for all those attempts and for all that possession, the only stat that counts so far and will count at the end of the game is at the very top of your screen. And that reads Zambia 0, Morocco 0. Game in the balance with 45 minutes remaining. look back at the first half of this match day 2 meeting between Zambia and the hosts Morocco at the CAF Under-17 AFCON finals. Big winners, both of these sides on match day 1, 5-0 for Morocco, 4-1 for Zambia. It was to be a goalless first half. Morocco having the best of it for the most part. Abdallah Wazan, impressive at times in the opening 45. That cross almost became an effort on goal. An opportunistic effort from Abel Nirongo. Scored on match day 1. Couldn't quite get that one right on match day 2. Biggest opportunity at that point of the game fell to a man who scored 2 in the tournament opener, Ziad Baya, son of head coach Nabil Baya. Rose at the back stick, rippled the side netting, fooled a few in the stands. Ilyas Belmokhtar was threatening throughout, cutting inside from the right wing. Didn't hit the target on that occasion. On this occasion, Wazan did. Testing Rogers Simumba about as thoroughly as he was tested in the first half. Another header for Baya. Better opportunity this one, sailed over the bar. He'll hope for better in the second half. As will, I'm sure, both head coaches looking to take another 3 points and keep up their 100% record if they can. And welcome back to Morocco for the second half of this second round of games at the Under-17 CAF Africa Cup of Nations. Here in Group A, it is a meeting between Zambia and the hosts, Morocco. Currently goalless after 45 minutes. The Atlas Lion Cubs have had the better of the match so far. Far more shots on target, far more possession, but they are being held currently by Zambia. The junior Chipolo Polo not about to give in to their perhaps more favoured hosts, with a big win of their own on the opening day to build their confidence. Now we'll see what Ian Bakala's halftime team talk can do for their chances here as we head into the second half. Zambia now shooting from left to right in orange and black. And Kelvin Malenga looking to put a first dangerous ball in within 15 seconds of the second kickoff. As well claimed by Shuaib Belarouche. Coming into the match, Ian Bakala said in the pre-match press conference, we know how the North African teams play. One team that I think is stronger than the others is Morocco. Looking at the other two countries in the group, we've played Tanzania in the other youth tournaments, which I think they did well in. They have a good side and we're ready for them in Uganda. We will definitely qualify. We don't have an excuse. We have to take it a game at a time. They started well, and they did win. 4-1, no less, in the opening match against Tanzania. But this North African side are proving tricky to break down. I think that's what he's inferring to. Generally very tight at the back, very well drilled North African teams, even at this junior level. Equally, plenty of style and substance at the other end of the pitch too. El Kalfioui certainly part of that. On this occasion, however, couldn't quite keep the ball in play. Zambia's ability to execute rapid counterattacks will be key to their success in this tournament, but particularly in this match. Morocco having grown into the game and started to dominate the ball in the second half of the first half, if you will. Wahabi brings it away. El Kalfioui. Playing it safe for now. Morocco can tend to pass it around their back line, just inside their own half. There's a moment of brilliance though from Wazan. Spinning away from one, looking to play in a teammate. Zambia hold firm, but a little too firm and not fair enough from Billy Daka. Unintentional, but has drawn blood from Nassim El Masoudi. Just caught with a flailing arm, the Leverkusen centre-back. Impressive to be able to reach his head, 1.85 metres tall, despite being only 17. But Billy Daka also a pretty tall teenager, as you can see, comparable in height, and it was trying to shield the ball. It's ended up in with his arm in the face of his opposite number. Two head coaches watching on. Ian Bakala, a former Chipolo Polo international, played 41 times for his country. Double the number of caps for the man in the other dugout. Appeared at 3 AFCON finals. Played 6 games across the 2002, 2006 and 2008 editions. Had a long playing career. Lasted a decade and a half. Took him to Belgium with Germinal Beerschot. Also included several stints in Angola. His philosophy as a manager is built on free-flowing attacking football, quick transitions, and so too defensive compactness. And it is the latter which has been tested more thoroughly and more visible in the first 50 minutes here in Mohammedia. And pause for some time. Ziad Baya also with a word for the referee. We're just waiting for El Masoudi to get patched up. Of course, there are health and safety concerns whenever blood is drawn on a football pitch. This might add to the stoppage time, the end of the match. A couple of minutes here, waiting to get back underway. Nabin Baya instilled a possession-based philosophy. So too, combined with a well-structured defence. And they are fulfilling all of that philosophy thus far, just missing the finishing touch. Plenty of talent and options on the bench for both head coaches. We can now get back underway. Vincent Kabore blows his whistle. We still have around 40 minutes to find a way to break the deadlock here in Mohammedia. Draw wouldn't be the worst result for both sides. We'll keep them level as Hamza Bouhadi is shown a yellow card. First booking of the game. It was clumsy at best, into the back of Kelvin Mulenga. Captain, highly rated right back. Well known his leadership qualities. He's going to have to be a touch careful now. Both in this game, but so too the next. 2 yellows in these 3 group games would see him miss the first knockout. Should Morocco get there, of course. Wazan also draws a foul that produces a first yellow for Zambia. Mangani and Lovu leaves a leg hanging. And just like buses, you wait for one, two come along at once. Referees often try and let the match breathe and avoid reaching for their pocket too soon, but early in the second half, Bassam Kabore looking to lay down the law. Bel Mokhtar sends in what initially looked a fairly harmless ball, but it was an awkward one to deal with for Jonathan Kalamina. Ultimately went back behind him and out for a corner kick. There's a decent amount of height in that Morocco starting 11, but taking it short this time. El Khalfioui back to Wazan. Forced to the byline. It will be take two from that left-hand corner. Bayer is well over 1.8 meters. Won a couple of headers in the first half. Couldn't direct either on target. This time it's an in-swinger. This time it's overhit. Xavier Mwanza sends it long onto Banda. Do well to chest it down and find Chanza, but the young Crocs academy player had too many white shirts for company. And now it's Wazan. Back to El Khalfioui. It's spilt. And as Ahmed Mahoub trying to force it out from underneath, Roger Simumba, the referee, does blow for a free kick. Nervous moment though for Simumba. Escapes still with clean sheet intact. Yes, going back to, if it were to end as a draw, they would remain the two teams in the qualification spots. Uganda just 1 point behind them, but both with their own destiny in their own hands, heading into the final round of group games. Both would back themselves to produce another decent win against Uganda and Tanzania, respectively. Morocco taking on Tanzania in this very stadium in 3 days' time, whilst Uganda and Zambia meet in Casablanca. Almost double the number of completed passes made by the hosts. It's not like they're all around the back line. They're getting forwards. Just haven't been quite clinical in front of goal, as they'd have liked to have been. Bayer goes down right in the corner of the box. Referee only points for a corner. Bayer will know, of course, that VAR are watching on. Not sure there was enough there. The contact probably initiated outside the box anyway. Kalfiui, leave it to Zan. See the corner flag fluttering in the wind. Play being held, presumably whilst VAR do have a quick look at this. Mwape stuck a leg out, but I feel like Bayer was already on the way down at that point. They're certainly having more than a cursory glance here. Raise of the eyebrows and a smile from Vincent Kabore. We wait. See if there's any more to come of this. Final seconds of the first hour of this game. Bayer 2 waits. If there were to be a penalty, it would likely be Bel Mokhtar to take again, not the man who won it. Successful from the spot in the first half against Uganda. Cheers in the crowd grow louder. Partially frustration, maybe some nerves from travelling Zambia fans. Morocco fans, surely it's impatience. Well, there you go, a thorough check. But the referee's decision on the field stands. Finally, Wazan can take this corner. Flicked on again by Bayer at the front post. Too many Zambia players behind him to make anything work with that piece of improvisation. Monsef Serki. Well, again, right on the edge of the area. A Morocco player goes down, this time El Kalfiui. Zekri sends it forwards to El Kalfiui. Involved just as much as he was in the first half. Bel Mokhtar has been a little quieter on the other flank. Most of the attacks coming down the left-hand side in the early stages of this second half for Morocco. Once again, not a huge amount that Mike Matare this time seemed to have done wrong. There was a look in the direction of the referee from the Ajaccio winger. Bent into the far post, parried away by Simumba. Wahabi will pick it up. Morocco throw right over by the corner flag. Lofi was there as well, behind his keeper. Should that one have slipped through his fingers? A lot further than where the ball went out, that lot further back. It's not something the referees tend to enforce in the same way they do when the players are trying to steal a few yards in an advanced position. Either way, nothing came of that throw. Zambia have possession. Look to do something with it. They don't manage to do so. Immediately defending again. Calmly done though by James Sabini. Malenga. Forwards towards Billy Daka. It's been a rather isolated figure since replacing Irungo in the first half. Zambia have been pinned back for much of that half an hour of play. Opening 20 minutes or so were more even. Sheikh, another who scored in the 5-0 win. Now, currently the furthest outfield player from the Zambia goal. Wahabi picks it up on the halfway line. Wazan just played it a little ahead of Bayer. He's starting to look a touch frustrated, the number 9. Currently carrying through the ranks at Real Betis in Spain. Ziad Bayer, father and coach, still barking instructions from the sidelines. Real natural instinct for goal, Ziad Bayer. Top scorer for Morocco in that UNAF Under-17 Championship. 3 goals. Effort from range is a good one. Out of nothing for Zambia. Andrew Mwape letting fly. And that was heading for the bottom corner. Billy Daka turns on the edge of the area. Was leaning back as he took his shot. Did take a touch though, I think. This one didn't take a touch. Skidded on through. Forced the first real piece of goalkeeping work from Shuey Belarus. Got a problem here now for the captain. Oh, in fact, no, sorry, it is Kelvin Mulenga again. Jonathan Calamina standing over his winger. Down in the first half as well, Mulenga. That was for an arm into the head. Now an issue with his lower leg, seemingly. And he turned 16 in January. The younger Zambians on the pitch to take a fair hit there from Hamza Bouhadi, who's on a yellow card. Morocco captain rather pushing his luck, testing that man's patience. Another break in play. As we are about to enter the final quarter of this game in about 10 seconds' time. Bouhadi looking a touch nervous. I wonder if VAR are having a look at this. He'd quite like to get back on with things and ensure his continued involvement in this game. There will seemingly be another wait. The VAR office does its thing. Zambia with a corner to take. Robert Banda waiting patiently. Referee just dishing out some advice, some instructions to those tussling in the area whilst we wait. Zambia meeting a host nation at the finals for just the second time. They won the first, that was against Niger in 2015. A 2-1 win in their second group game. It's match day 2 again here against the hosts. Can they break the local hearts once again? Wow, VAR involvement. Referee has been advised this time to go and have a look at his pitch side monitor. Is there about to be a twist in the tail of this Zambia-Morocco meeting? It was a very risky challenge for a man, particularly already on a yellow card. Was it out of control? Both feet are off the floor, studs are up. It's high onto the ankle of Kelvin Malenga. Not sure he made any contact with the ball before the player either. It's far from a clear conclusion. Vincent Kabore wants multiple angles, multiple viewings, clearly deep in discussion. Are the host nation about to be reduced to 10? 20 minutes remain. Morocco have been the dominant force in most of this game. Certainly the second half. It could be flipped on his head if they're about to be reduced to 10. Third angle now being watched by the referee. Zooming in from this wide camera, as much quality as possible from that kind of distance, that kind of movement. That's the point of contact. Studs are up. You could argue it's over the ball. It's around the same height as the ball, but it was a genuine attempt at a tackle. Say that for Hamza Bouhaddi. Just a slightly heavy touch. It was a rather desperate challenge from a captain who was worried about giving the ball away. Not far from his edge of his area. Giving this plenty of thought. Far from rushing the decision, Vincent Kabore. Bouhaddi, part of the FUS Rabat Academy. Teammate of Ahmed Mahoub, just in front of him in this Morocco setup. Come from all over the world, these young Morocco players. El Massoudi of Leverkusen is mentioned, Zekri and Amin Wahabi both playing for Mechelen in Belgium, Wazan with Ajax in the Netherlands, Spain, France as well. They are a cohesive unit once they come together. But it's that cohesion about to be tested to its utmost. The wait goes on. Clearly deep in discussion about the exact point of contact, the height, the level of control in the challenge, the pace. Unavoidable and undebatable. Both feet were off the floor at one point. Was Hamza Bouhaddi out of control? That is the headline question. No question that it could have done some damage to Kelvin Malenga if he'd had his feet planted, rode the challenge. Still needed some treatment on that right ankle. Whatever the decision is to be, certainly easily could have been a second yellow if it had been spotted in real time by the referee. He's finally made his mind up. Hamza Bouadi watches on nervously. He's been beckoned over. And Vincent Kabori reaches for his back pocket and shows the Morocco captain the red card. Debated the decision for almost 5 minutes. Morocco, having struggled to find the breakthrough against a well-drilled Zambia side, will now have to do the final 15 minutes with 10 men. And not just any man that they're losing, but their captain. The Zambia corner becomes a free kick. A little further out, but one less defender to deal with in the Morocco backline. Will that prove to be a pivotal moment in this match, in this group, in this tournament? Bouadi will, of course, now miss the final group game. That's almost immediately effective. Punched away by Belarus after it had been missed by almost everyone in front of him somehow. Great delivery in from Banda. Somehow no one got a proper touch on the ball. Now Nabil Baye can make his change. Some confusion. Abdallah Wazan was heading to the sidelines. It's not the 8, it's the 18 that's being shown. El Kalfioui makes way in a defensive change, unsurprisingly. On comes Joseph Bellassène, 16-year-old right back, to fill the void of his captain as much as he can. This game has been turned on its head. Zambia suddenly the team with the wind in their sails, the ball at their feet. Kelvin Malenga, the man who drew the foul that produced the red card, skipping past one, not catching the shot quite right. He felt at times it was Zambia hanging on. Will it be Morocco hanging on in the final quarter of an hour? How much stoppage time will there be? Had 3 considerable pauses in play during the second half. 2 VAR checks, medical timeout. Could be a fair bit more than the 12 minutes of the scheduled 90 still to play. And it is Zambia very much now on the front foot. Kelvin Malenga, who switched over to the right wing. Having seen Morocco's right back dismissed, fancies a go at the left back now. So it's Robert Banda on the left wing. He certainly got the ball there. He left Ziad Baya in a heap. I'm sure Morocco are going to make the point to the referee anytime they can now for any rough Zambian challenge. Baya's back to his feet though, and his team have the ball. Zambia have never kept a clean sheet at the AFCON finals. This is their 8th attempt to do so. Suddenly, It's them doing all the attacking though. Belarus quickly off his line to gather that up before Mitali could get a shot away. They've already managed one first in this competition. Won their opening game for the first time. Had lost their opener in their previous two appearances to Guinea and Nigeria. Each of those 1-0. They conceded one again this time, but scored 4. Malenga forces his way past Amin Wahabi. Ait Sheikh, however, proved to be a different kind of prospect. The running from Bayer forces Savio Mwanza to put it out for a throw. Monsef Sekri ambles down the touchline to take the throw. Suddenly it's Morocco looking to tick down the seconds wherever they can. Gone from what surely would have been a disappointment had it ended in a draw to a point they'd fairly happily take from this position. They won't, I'm sure, however, have given up on snatching a somewhat unlikely win. Here's the chance. Saved by Belarus. Acrobatic attempt on the rebound from Chansa. Offside flag had gone up. Chama Chansa played just 1 minute on match day 1. Got the start here. For a moment, thought he was about to get the opener. And he was. Just the wrong side of the defensive line when that pass came through. Just drifted beyond the furthest Morocco defender. Belarus again very quickly, this time very far off his line. Sort of a little nervy at the back. Sekri dealt with that one. Belarus looks a little edgy though. Didn't need to rush out there. Every player bar Rogers Simumba is currently in the Morocco half, but Jonathan Calamina can't get that under control. Hands possession back to the hosts. Brought down well by Chansa, who's suddenly the main attacking focal point for Zambia. He is playing something of a number 10 role. It was easy to forget between the amount of defending Zambia were having to do and the number 4 in his back. More traditionally, a centre-back or defensive midfielder's number. And now he's showing exactly what he can do in attack. 2 off balance though there to get that one on target. Surprised that it's still just a 1 substitution apiece that's been used by the head coaches. Somewhat enforced for both as well. Daka coming on for the injured Nyarongo, all but confirmed in terms of an injury anyway. Took a knock early on and rather hobbled off. And of course the red card producing Joseph Berlassen. Andrew Mwape out left to Kalamina. Blocked not once, but twice by the Morocco substitute. Well, here we go. There are more fresh legs to be introduced. Unsurprisingly, Morocco might need them. Backs against the wall here. Still determined to spring a counter-attack or two if they can. That's hopeful and ultimately unthreatening from the weaker right foot of Kalamina. Luis Veliles, another Real Betis Academy player, will be the first to come on. Just 15 years of age, the number 24. And it is Wazan and Bayer, somewhat surprisingly, to make way. Armband will find its third arm of the day. It goes on to the bicep of the other new substitute, Ilyas El Arbawi, 17-year-old. To shore things up. Traditionally a left back. Support Zekri. Malenga looking to cause damage down that wing. Bel Mokhtar finally able to get involved again. It's been a while. Well, Zagmalti's actually taken up a roll up top, it would appear. Straight swap for Bayer. Some miscommunication there. Defender and keeper rather blaming each other. Not too harmonious, very stressful. And the final 5 minutes. How the tables turn. Zambia probably would have happily taken the point. They now feel it's an opportunity missed, should they not grab a couple more. Would assure them a qualification spot. If there is a winner here, either way, they'll be confirmed in the knockout stage. Head to head, the first differentiator, first tiebreaker in the situation of tied number of points. A winner here would be 3 points ahead of both the loser and Uganda. Morocco would actually be assured top spot, having beaten Uganda and Zambia already. That prospect, though, is looking the less likely. Only marginally. They can play this Morocco team, even with 10. The number 10, though, plays a rather wayward pass. Wahabi just a little behind his teammate, making the run. Sheikh and Chama Chans are coming together. The latter deemed the guilty party. Long ball forwards. Belmokhtar all on his own. Sabini getting his head to it and no one behind lurking, so comfortable for Simumba. Morocco aiming to become the second tournament hosts to win on home soil. Gambia in 2005, the only other hosts to win the under-17 AFCON. Started perfectly with their biggest ever win at the AFCON finals in the opener. It's all ticking along pretty nicely here, if slightly frustratingly unable to find a way through. But now it's all gone a little wrong. Captain sent off. I think I heard 8 minutes. Indeed I did, for them to survive after the 90th minute. That was beautifully brought down by Belmokhtar. He's forced it on through to El Arbawi. The flag will go up against the Morocco substitute. Was the correct decision. Morocco just going through the motions somewhat here to survive and then regroup. In between match days 2 and 3, a draw here and everything will hang in the balance. Plenty of jeopardy for the final round of group games in Group A. Beat Morocco on 4. Zambia on 4, Uganda on 3. Tanzania, the only team eliminated without a point. Finally, a second change made by Ian Bakala. Gabriel Piri comes on in place of Chama Chanza. Piri, a scorer against Tanzania as a substitute. He would love to do the same again here. He's adding the icing on the cake with a fourth. Just 2 minutes after his introduction a few days ago. Another who played a pivotal role in the qualifying championship, 3 goals there. Not an unlikely candidate to deliver a winner. Malenga gets his cross all wrong. Card of apology from the young Forest Rangers. Academy graduate. Born on New Year's Day, 2009. Any resolutions required for Zambia here late on? Just keep going as they have been. Like Matali. And Lovu. Nicely chested on by Malenga. Mwape. Malenga goes down. That was off the hand of Matali, and Morocco will have their free kick. 4 of the 8 minutes have come and gone. Sheikh sends it long. Space hit for Zambia on the left-hand side. That's where Ndlovu sends it. Kalamina towards goal. That's going to drop for Gabriel Piri. Substitute. Almost becoming a super sub again. Don't think that would have been offside. Came off a Morocco player. It did indeed. Was a narrow angle though. Asking a lot of Piri. Zambia can't rule out a late moment for this Morocco side. Can't let their guard down, throw too many players forward, get too greedy. It's a dangerous side, full of quality. Moments just like that, lovely footwork from Monsef Sureki. That was well held by Simumba. Away by El Masoudi. El Arbawi brings it forwards, uses those fresh legs to run at Mwape. Number 3 versus number 3, that's left, and erroneously left. What were you doing, says Roger Simumba. Well, no harm, no foul. But they were very fortunate that Belmokhtar sent that over the bar. All on its own. A Monaco youngster, James Sabini, just with a momentary lapse of concentration, which could have been a nightmare moment for Zambia, for that young centre-back. Simumba did enough to put off Belmokhtar. Scored 2 3 days ago. That was one of, if not perhaps the biggest chance of this match. 10 seconds, there's 98 minutes remain. Is there time for one more opportunity? Belmokhtar sends it forwards to El Arbawi, cuts inside, looks to get his shot away. Well, it's blocked, but it will be a Morocco corner. Surely they can't nick it right at the end. They rode out the wave of attacks after being reduced to 10. It appears it is they who will have the final throw of the dice. Belmokhtar slowly makes his way to the corner flag, off balance as he tried to make the most of that huge opportunity. It was towards the head of Ait Sheikh, but that will be that. Final whistle blows in Mohammedia. The hosts dominated the first hour of this game, but after a lengthy VAR check, their captain, Hamza Bouadi, was dismissed. With 15 minutes remaining, they had to survive with 10 men, 10 young men, but 10 young men who did see this one out to the final whistle with the deadlock unbroken. Final score,